Blessings, Divine Reflection. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new, my name is Idalis. I am a spiritual wellness coach, and on this channel I love to talk about esoterica, the occult, the spiritual journey, so subscribe if any of that interests you. Today we're going to talk about how I personally have activated my DNA. So it's going to be a bit of a story time, but I'm also going to be giving you tips on how you can upgrade your DNA and access higher states of consciousness and awareness. Before we do get into the tips for activating your light body and my experiences working with these practices in my own Starseed awakening journey, I first wanted to read a quote from Bringers of the Dawn, which is a channeling from the Pleiadians, Starseeds, those who believe they have a mission and have a connection to planetary systems outside of our own. I want to share with you why, how incredibly vital it is to access this part of ourselves. So this is from chapter 6 of Bringers of the Dawn, and it's called Unlocking the History. DNA carries the coding for this genetic material, and its helixes are made up of light-encoded filaments, tiny gossamer threads that carry information the way fiber optic systems do. The pillar of light that you use to activate yourself and to bring information into your body is also composed of light-encoded filaments. These light-encoded filaments carry a vast amount of data and information, and your body is filled with them. When bundled together and placed in a certain alignment, the light-encoded filaments work together and release information that makes sense of the history they carry. So I began to access higher levels of being and states of awareness when I chose to step out of the matrix, right? To step out of the system of wage slavery that we have entered, right? This paradigm of consciousness in humanity that, puts one on this conveyor belt sort of lifestyle. When I asked to be delivered and to fulfill my mission and my destiny, I then opened up an entirely new timeline that I was now able to walk down to discover what my reality could be and what was destined for me, right? So I talk about my journey to discovering my starseed lineage in my Starseed Awakening story time, but here I want to go more into the specifics of how I was able to tap into this frequency. My Starseed Awakening was definitely catapulted by my decision to step outside of Maya, right? This sense of illusion of what reality is, and also came from my intention to empower myself through my healing journey, the path toward embodying the fullest version of myself, that which was fully aligned in her purpose, took a lot of work and was a step-by-step process. One of the tools that I used along my journey toward stepping fully into my purpose was Chakra Alignment. This started with my discovery of crystals and crystal healing, which was so vital to me along my early journey. I, as mentioned in the Starseed Awakening story time, was highly sensitive as a result actually of trauma. Those who consider themselves empaths have a great deal of trauma that they have experienced that caused them to become hypersensitive to the world around them. Empaths learn to be hyper aware to survive. They learn to walk on eggshells in a sense so as not to trigger those around them. And because of this, their nervous system tends to shut down, finding ways to then soothe the nervous system to once again learn to trust the intuition also of the body, so that we are able to make decisions out of a sense of knowing rather than being outwardly focused on everyone else's needs, what other people need. So, as mentioned in my Journey to Awakening the Goddess blog post on my website, one of my first crystals was a rose quartz, which is incredibly vital in connecting to the frequency of love. Love helps us to connect to divine energies and also to the physical world. But of course, there are crystals for grounding, which is also really beneficial, I think, for starseeds or those on the beginning of their spiritual journey, to learn to love being in the physical body, learning to love being this person that you have chosen at the highest level to come down into physical form as is the purpose of being. And so, connecting to a tangible object like crystals, which also have such a high vibrational spiritual energy, was so incredibly important to my journey to not only healing and awakening, but also activating my chakras, which are these multi-dimensional vortexes of energy that are swirling in my body that exist in all of our bodies. Also, chakra meditations were incredibly vital. My attunement to Reiki was incredibly important as well to my awakening of my chakras, empowering my spirit body. And then, of course, eating foods for the chakras was something that was so incredibly beneficial. Other than chakra alignment, working with crystals, working with my own energy body, and working with, earth medicine, I also activated my light body by connecting to the biggest light frequency that exists in our perceived reality here on Earth, which is the sun itself. Practicing sun gazing is actually a really powerful way to activate light codes within the body. On my journey to awakening, I would, wake up with the sun. Every time I would wake up, I would practice, gazing into the sun. Or, when I would come home in the afternoon, I could catch the sunset, on the other side of my house. I would highly, highly recommend that you avoid staring into the sun at midday when it's its brightest, because at this point the sun's energy is a bit too powerful for the eye. So early mornings and when the sun is setting in the afternoon are the best times to do sun gazing, because we obviously don't want to cause any damage to our eyes. In the beginning, if you choose to practice the art of sun gazing, I would also recommend that you do so in the beginning in short amounts of time. It's best not to force your eyes early on in the beginning to stare at the sun for extended periods of time. But when you do this, you're allowing, this frequency of light to penetrate your mind, your soul, right? It's information that you're taking in directly. When I would sun gaze, I would get visions. I would receive messages. I would receive information about reality, about consciousness, about the sun goddess itself, and the history of the sun. The sun started to speak to me. To connect to earth energy, to connect to planetary energies, to connect to a higher vibrational state of being. So sun gazing is something that I would highly recommend for those looking to activate their light body. Next up, I have sacred symbols, which are so powerful to connecting to the light body, accessing codes within the DNA and upgrading the DNA, and empowering the soul, and also connecting to ancestral lineage. Along my early awakening journey, spiritual awakening journey, and also unbeknownst to me at the time, my starseed awakening journey as well, while perusing the aisles of the crystal stores and the metaphysical bookstores that I was in, I came across this really beautiful Celtic knot. I later found out through a DNA ancestry test that my sister took. I would never take those personally because these places are allowed to keep and store your DNA, which makes me feel really uncomfortable personally. But my sister did take the test, and we found out that we had Irish blood within us. I just thought that was really powerful to share. These sacred symbols are, in a sense, pathways of connection to a higher force and a timelessness, right, that has transcended through the years. The particular Celtic knot that I was drawn to was that of wisdom, and was a value in my life that I wanted to uphold. Again, this was incredibly healing the inner goddess within me, awakening the inner goddess within me once more, helping to sink such a beautiful energy and intention onto the physical plane, which is what I believe the starseed journey and awakening really encapsulates. Working with these sacred symbols is also a path to empowering the spirit, and working with literal spirits, archetypes, ancestral energy is probably, I think, one of the best things that you can do to tap into your DNA, right? These beautiful light-encoded filaments full of information and power and access and guidance and transcendence can help to remind you of who you are and the power in you that you have access to. Celtic knots weren't the only symbols that I worked with. I would also use glyphs. The pentagram is a symbol that I really connect with. Earth spirits, demigods and goddesses in the realm of African spirituality are really powerful symbols that I connect with, or connected with, in a later part of my awakening as well. I activated my DNA sort of, by accident through all of these practices, but also through training my mind with the use of frequencies. specifically 432 hertz frequency, is the vibration of the crown chakra, which is the sound of the universe. The crown chakra 432 hertz music helps us to connect to higher realms and states of consciousness. In this way, we can access the super consciousness, the higher mind, and the spirit body. Prayer, setting intentions, and affirmations were also incredibly powerful and beneficial to upgrading my mind. Specifically through chanting, I was able to transcend the ego, right? I was able to transcend the analytical mind and access the power of presence, of pure bliss, which can be accessed in this spiritual state of consciousness. In this spiritual state of consciousness, we are able to encapsulate the fullness of our being, coming fully online and becoming fully alive. Our DNA exists within the life force energy that runs through our entire being. When we activate our DNA and align with the fullness of our being, we are able to bring this higher state of awareness into the physical reality, which can not only ripple out in our own lives in such beautiful and harmonious ways, but also shifts the energy of those around us, those closest to us, suddenly are forced to step into their awakening. So I hope that this video encourages you to continue along your starseed awakening journey and inspired you to access new levels of awareness. I have programmed this very video to activate your DNA and your light body, so you should walk away from this video feeling empowered and connected. That is my intention. If you are looking to continuously empower yourself, I do have a membership page where I do guided meditations, energy work, psychic channelings, and astrology readings for those looking to access a deeper alignment. I also offer one-on-one sessions. Share this video with anyone who you think might need it. Comment down below, let me know how your starseed awakening is going. I want to hear about it, and I will see you next week for a brand new video. I love you so much. Mwah!